Congrats, you got the interview. Now it's real. That means your resume worked, your application stood out, and someone wants to meet you. Now the question is, are you going to show up prepared or are you going to wing it and hope for the best? I've been in hiring rooms, I've interviewed hundreds of people, and I can tell you the difference between a candidate who gets the offer and one who doesn't is almost never about who is smarter or more qualified. It's almost always about who is more prepared. This video is going to give you everything you need to walk into that room or onto that call ready to just crush it. We're going to talk about how to prep, what to practice, what every interviewer is going to ask you, how to handle the hard moments, and how to finish strong. Let's get into it. Okay, here's what we're covering today. 8 sections, each one builds on the last. We start with mindset and practice, move into the questions every interviewer will ask you, then prep techniques, performance, recovery, and follow up. Stay with me through all of it. The candidates who win are the ones who treat every section seriously, not just the parts they think apply to them. Okay, before we talk tactics, I want to say something directly. Most people underprepare for interviews. They think about their answers in their head, feel good about it, and then walk in and stumble. Because thinking it and saying it out loud are completely different experiences. You need to practice out loud. Say your answers, hear yourself. Because in the interview, that's what's happening. You're speaking, not thinking. Better yet, practice with a peer or a friend, someone who will actually push back and ask follow up questions and give you honest feedback, not someone who just nods and says, "Hey, that was great." You need the friend who says, "You rambled for 2 minutes and never actually answered the question." That feedback before the interview is gold. The goal of practice isn't to memorize a script, it's to get so comfortable with your stories and your experience that the words come naturally, even when you're nervous. Okay, now let's talk about the questions that come up in almost every interview. There are 5 of them. They seem simple, they trip people up constantly. You should have your answers to these so well developed that you could deliver them in an elevator, half asleep without blinking. The first one, tell me about yourself. This is not an invitation to read your resume out loud. It's your opening statement. Keep it to 2 or 3 minutes. Walk them through your career arc, where you started, what you've built, and why you're here today. Make it relevant to the role. End with something that connects your story to this opportunity. Practice until it's smooth, confident, and conversational. The second, why do you want to work here or in this role? This is where your research pays off. Referencing something specific about the company, their mission, a recent initiative, something that genuinely interests you. Generic answers like, "I think this was a great company with lots of opportunity," tell them nothing. Show them you've done your homework. Show them you want this job, not just a job. All right, the third, why are you the ideal candidate for this role? This is your pitch. This is where you connect your skills and experience directly to what they are looking for. Go back to the job description. Pick the 2 or 3 things they care most about and make the case for why you are the answer to each one of those. Be specific, be confident. Don't be arrogant, but don't be shy either. This is not the moment for false modesty. The fourth, why did you leave your last role or why are you looking to leave? Be honest, be brief, and be forward looking. Never badmouth a previous employer, ever, even if it was terrible. It reflects on you, not them. Focus on what you're moving towards growth, a new challenge, alignment with your values, not what you're running away from. Keep it clean. Okay, question number 5. Tell me 2 strengths and 2 weaknesses. For strengths, pick ones that are directly relevant to the role. Back each one up with a specific example. I'm a strong communicator means nothing without evidence. For weaknesses, this is where people make the most mistakes. Do not say things like, "Oh, I'll work too hard," or "I'm a perfectionist." Interviewers have heard those 1,000 times and it reads as evasive and dishonest. Pick a real, genuine area you've been working to improve and then talk about what you've done about it. That combination shows self awareness and growth. That's what they're actually looking for. And one more thing on weaknesses: do not share a weakness that is a core requirement of the job. So, in other words, if you're interviewing for the data heavy role, don't say, I've always struggled with numbers. Read the room. Here's a technique I've shared for years that I think is one of the most powerful things you can do to prepare. Take the job description, every requirement, every bullet point, and turn it into an interview question. If it says strong project management experience, the question is, tell me about a complex project you managed from start to finish. What was the challenge? How did you lead it? And what was the outcome? If it says proven ability to drive revenue growth, the question becomes, walk me through a time you directly contributed to revenue growth. What was your approach? And what were the results? If your resume says you're good at process improvement, expect, tell me about a significant process improvement you implemented. How did you identify the problem? How did you execute the solution? And what was the measurable outcome? Do this for every requirement in the job description. Do that for every major claim on your resume. Write out your answers, practice them. This alone will make you more prepared than 80% of other candidates. Next, prepare for the hard ones. Every interview will include questions about situations that did not go well: a conflict with a coworker or a client, a project that failed, a decision you'd make differently. These are not trick questions, they're actually an opportunity. How you talk about adversity, failure, and conflict tells an interviewer far more about your character than how you talk about your wins. Use a simple framework. What was the situation? What did you do? What was the outcome? And what did you learn? Be honest, don't blame others, own your part. Show them you grew from it. Before every interview, know who's in the room. Research each person, look at their LinkedIn, understand their role, understand what they care about professionally. Then prepare questions for them specifically. If you're meeting with the head of operations, your question should be about how the team runs, where the friction is, what success looks like in their world. If you're meeting with the CFO, you're asking about financial health, investment priorities, what they expect from your function. Thoughtful, role specific questions signal that you've prepared. They also signal that you're thinking about the job, not just trying to get the job. Well, now you've done your prep work. Now you have to perform. A few things that matter more than people realize, whether it's in person or on a video call. How you show up in the first 60 seconds sets a tone. Make eye contact. Bring energy, not nervousness dressed up as enthusiasm, but genuine engagement. Smile and be present. For virtual interviews specifically, check your background, your lighting, your audio. Do a test run. Nothing undermines a strong candidate faster than 30 seconds of, can you hear me now? Pause before you answer. This is one of the most underused tools in an interview. When you get a complex question, it is completely fine and actually looks confident to take a breath and say, that's a great question. Let me think about that for a second. Rushing to fill silence with words often leads to rambling. A deliberate pause leads to a better answer. If you feel yourself going off track, rambling, losing the thread, saying more than you need to, just stop. It's okay. Acknowledge it. Say something like, let me pull that back and be more direct. Or I'll want to make sure I'm actually answering your question. Interviewers respect self awareness. What they don't love is watching someone dig deeper into a hole. If a question is ambiguous, ask for clarification before you answer. Hey, just to make sure, am I understanding this, or are you asking about X or more about Y? This is not a weakness. This is what good communicators do. And at the end of a response, especially a long one, it's powerful to simply ask, does that answer what you were looking for, or would you like me to go deeper on any part of that? It shows confidence and it gives the interviewer a chance to redirect if needed. Okay, never in an interview without asking strong questions. Saying, I think you covered everything, is a missed opportunity and signals low curiosity. Ask about success. Hey, what does success look like in this role in 90 days or at 1 year? Ask about the team. How would you describe the culture of this team? Ask about challenges. What's the biggest challenge the person in this role will need to tackle first? Ask about them. What do you enjoy most about working here? And what not to ask in early interviews. Don't ask about salary, vacation time, remote work policy, or anything that makes it sound like you're already negotiating before you even have an offer. There's time for that. This is not it. It won't always go perfectly, and that's okay. If you blank on a question, pause, breathe, and say, let me think about the best example for this. Then take your time. Do not panic and start rambling to fill the silence. If you ramble, stop. Mid sentence if you have to. Say, I'm going to bring that back around and give them a clean one sentence summary of your point. If you genuinely don't know something, don't bluff. Say, I don't have direct experience with that, but here's how I'd approach learning it quickly, and then show them your thinking. Intellectual honesty combined with curiosity is a strong signal. If the interview fell flat, don't catastrophize it. Send a strong follow up. You don't always know what they were thinking in the room. Now, after the interview, send a thank you note within 24 hours, not a template, a personalized note that references something specific from the conversation, a topic you discussed, something you found particularly interesting, a way the conversation shifted your thinking. This takes 10 minutes, and most candidates don't do it. That alone makes you memorable. Reflect on what happened, what questions caught you off guard, what answers felt weak. Take notes. Use that information to sharpen your prep for the next round or the next opportunity. And follow up if you don't hear back within the time frame they gave you. One follow up is professional, three is too many. Interviews are a skill, and like every skill, they get better with practice. Not luck, not personality, not being a natural. Practice. Turn the job description into questions. Turn your resume to questions. Prep your elevator pitches until they're second nature. Know who you're meeting with. Practice out loud with someone who will push you. And when you're in the room, breathe. You've done the work. Now trust it. If you find this helpful, hit my links to follow for more content like this. Share it with someone who's in the hunt, and I'll see you in the next one.